Now at 6, some Joplin City employees can expect to see a pay increase. We'll have details. Plus, Kansans share their appreciation for the state following comments made by the New York City mayor. And we'll hear from Pitt State as the Gorillas look ahead to their rivalry matchup against Missouri Southern.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some Joplin City workers will receive a 4% cost of living wage increase from the upcoming budget year. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The city wants to fill about 100 jobs across different departments. Police officers already received a 12% increase. City Manager Nick Edwards says the raises are meant to combat the trend of people leaving the workforce or choosing not to work. That's making the labor market very competitive.
Regionally, there's a lot of movement from other communities and even in the private sector, and so that more work is needed to improve pay for public safety and general employees. With 100 openings, it's becoming increasingly difficult.
Next, the city will discuss proposed wage increases for the fire department. The city council will approve their final budget plan on October 17th. Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas are among 6 states suing to stop the student loan forgiveness program. That federal plan would reduce some student loan debt for people who meet certain income guidelines. Attorneys general who filed the suit today claim it's unfair. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt adds, quote, "The Biden administration's unlawful edict will only worsen inflation at a time when many Americans are struggling to get by." Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt says, quote, "This political move by the Biden administration has everything to do with election year politics, but is not authorized by law." The Biden administration today did scale back the program to exclude borrowers from privately held federal loans. The White House continues to argue that its plan is legal and claims Republican officials in the 6 suing states are standing with special interests. Missouri lawmakers today approved an income tax cut and ditched plans to cut corporate taxes. The bill cuts income taxes from 5.3% to 4.95% beginning next year. The measure now heads to Governor Mike Parson, who is expected to sign it. Parson had directed lawmakers to cut income taxes during this special session. Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
And boy, what a beautiful day it has been across the area with bright sunshine, clear skies, and very pleasant temperatures. You can see right now on radar, nothing going on in our area. You have to go all the way out to the Rocky Mountains before you start to see some showers and clouds. And that's partly because of the hurricane on the East Coast, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Temperatures right now very pleasant. Lower 70s off to the east in Nevada with 72, Stockton as well. A little bit warmer out to the west with Independence checking in close to 80 degrees right now with 79. Now over the evening we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 70s, into the 50s, and even to the 40s by tomorrow morning at around 47 degrees for your low. And as we look ahead, we're expecting chilly nights and a warmer weekend with some rain chances next week. So we'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit.
See you then. Kansas U.S. Senator Jerry Moran spoke on the Senate floor yesterday to recognize the city of Humboldt as a leader in small town revitalization. He also recognized the town with the Building Better Communities Award.
The community of Humboldt is a success story, and it's a role model. It demonstrates how teamwork, creative thinking, hard work, treating others with respect, and caring about the future of your community can make a positive difference for your city, the state, and for our entire nation. That's our brand in Kansas.
Now, this comes after the New York City Mayor Eric Adams made remarks this week which drew pushback from Kansans. He said he was welcomed and accepted on an overseas trip because people were familiar with the brand of New York City, which he says is something Kansas lacks. Reporter Alex Jurgen spoke to Kansans on their feelings about that comment.
The sunflower. Not only is it our state flower, it's also one of the most recognizable symbols in the state of Kansas. Our state nickname is the Sunflower State. So the comments from New York City Mayor Eric Adams about Kansas not having a brand did not sit well with the folks I spoke with.
When you go out somewhere else like Florida, it makes you appreciate it a little bit more, like having a sand and a beach and all this. But out here, it's like I don't know, it's more freedom. That's what I like to think about Kansas.
Sierra Haas from the Salina area is a lifelong native.
I think the people here are really kind and not they don't judge and stuff. And honestly, I think it's beautiful out here.
Colby Sharples-Terry with the Kansas Office of Tourism believes the mayor's comments were not in good taste. She believes it's important to talk about Kansas in an authentic way and maybe change some perspectives.
From our standpoint, you don't have to slam others to talk about your greatness. You know, we don't do that as a state. We talk about us and what makes us unique.
For those that have yet to set foot in Kansas or haven't toured around the state much,
I think they should come here and experience it for themselves before they judge it.
Sharples-Terry says the Kansas Office of Tourism is inviting the New York mayor to visit Kansas, maybe even check out the majestic Flint Hills. Nicer temperatures bring more motorcycles on the road, so a school in southeast Kansas is teaching students how to look out for safety concerns. Fort Scott Community College Harley-Davidson Technician Training School teaches everything from mechanical work to safety. According to an instructor, it's not always about what you wear, but how prepared your bike is for the road conditions.
We have a lot of children and inattentive drivers thanks to cell phones these days. So, you know, I mean, it's very important to pay attention to all safety on the road, all drivers, all motorcycles, anything, you know, it's wear your helmet. It's not always comfortable, but it will save your life, you know.
Instructors also say that loose grass blown on the roads from mowers can be dangerous for motorcycles. Coming up, Pitt State releases their fall enrollment numbers. Plus, a local organization hosts a pre-sale for their annual Empty Bowls event. Pitt State says enrollment numbers are up among freshmen, transfer, and international students. They say freshman enrollment has increased by 4.9% with 893 students. Transfer student enrollment is up by 2.4%. International student enrollment had a rebound from the pandemic with a total of 265 international students enrolling, but Pitt State's total enrollment is down 2.6% to 5,858 students. A Joplin Animal Rescue Shelter is warning people about scammers posing as shelter representatives. Don't fall for it. The scammers are going through the Golden Paws Animal Rescue Facebook comments, telling people incorrectly that they're starting to breed and sell dogs. When they receive payment, well, then they cut off contact. An official with Golden Paws says the scammers are in no way affiliated with Golden Paws. Watered Gardens Ministries in Joplin is holding a pre-sale for bowls for their 10th annual Empty Bowls event to provide relief for local hunger. Patrons buy handcrafted pottery bowls, enjoy a serving of soup, and then have an empty bowl to take home to remind them that somewhere someone is hungry. Funds from that event go to support organizations that feed people in the area.
The only requirement to be able to be eligible to receive funds from the Empty Bowls event is you must be a nonprofit organization and you have to have a food component to your ministry and be a 100% privately funded organization.
The bowls were created by local artists, and 20 restaurants from the area will donate 5 gallons of soup for that event in November. More than 30 local employers with open positions showed up for the Cherokee County Job Fair today in Baxter Springs, Kansas. Kansas Works Workforce Center hosted the event in an effort to find local people looking for jobs.
We just hope to connect job seekers to employers. That's our mission, is connecting job seekers to employers, so that way we can benefit our local communities.
Moore says job fairs have provided thousands of jobs to people locally. A little bit later, Pitt State prepares for their Miners Bowl rivalry game against Missouri Southern.
And it was a beautiful day across the 4 states, and I'll be back to let you know what the weekend looks like as well as next week in your forecast. Stay tuned. Well, friends, the last few days are what meteorologists like to refer to as Chamber of Commerce weather, with clear skies, light winds, pleasant temperatures, and cool nights. It's a pretty nice day out there right now. You can see on the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, down in Seneca, Missouri. Pretty nice evening there. A little bit of a glare on the camera, but not too bad. Just maybe a little bit of a cirrus cloud there, but nothing really going on across our area. What is going on, though, is the drought, and it's getting worse. Unfortunately, the drought has extended over into western Missouri on the exceptional scale, and then surrounding that is the extreme, which pretty much encompasses a large section of our area, but everywhere in our region is dry, and we desperately need some rainfall. And it's not been just this month that we've been dry. We are going to probably go down as the third driest September in Joplin history with only 0.4 of an inch of rainfall. And as I mentioned, it's not just been September, it's been going all the way back to June. We were 3 inches below. Same thing in July. We did get a little bit more in August, but so far this month, we're going to probably end up around 3.5 or 3 3/4 of an inch below normal. So we desperately need the rain. And unfortunately, nothing is to be had in the short term. All right, let's take a look at the temperatures right now. Very pleasant, 73 in Carthage, 74 in Fort Scott, a little bit warmer in Parsons where they're currently 78. Also 78 for our friends over in Sedan, and 76 degrees down in Jay. Here's a look at our tower cam. Look at the beautiful shot out there. 73 degrees in Joplin right now with an east wind at 10. The dew point is real low at 35, so that means the humidity is 25%, and the pressure is currently falling. All right, overnight we're going to see temperatures dropping down into the 50s by around midnight, upper 40s by tomorrow morning with a low of around 47 degrees. And as I mentioned, nothing really going on in our area. We have to go all the way out to the west coast before we start to see some storms and some showers. And that's a part of a storm system that's organizing across the northern Rockies, but it's slowly going to move in our direction. And that's mainly because Ian is blocking its path. Ian right now is starting to redevelop off the coast of Florida. You can see the convection starting to wrap around the center again. So intensification is expected as it continues to move towards the north, up towards the Carolinas, and in fact is expected to come ashore as a Category 1 hurricane by tomorrow around Charleston, perhaps a little bit further to the east over near Myrtle Beach as well, and then we'll dump tremendous amounts of rain for the southern Appalachians extending up into the New England states. So the effects from Ian is going to be pretty widespread. No hurricanes in our local area. Instead, we're going to see temperatures tonight dropping down into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees with light southeasterly winds, a pretty nice night. Then tomorrow, more sunshine on tap for our area with temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees tomorrow. You can see we're going to see very nice conditions once again across our area with, again, no precipitation anywhere in our area expected. And then as we go through on the day, Saturday afternoon, you can see readings generally in the mid 70s, upper 70s, maybe some lower 80s as well. Then as we go into Sunday morning, lows once again in the 50s, maybe some upper 40s sprinkled in as well with light easterly winds. For tomorrow, football games looking pretty nice. We're going to hold on to some decent weather with temperatures starting out at around 74 kickoff and by the end of the game, mid 60s. The next 7 days, 80 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday, Monday the same thing. And then as we head into Wednesday, Dow, I think we might have a chance of rain, but then it starts to turn dry again as we go into early next weekend. So only one shot at rain in that entire forecast.
And that's not going to be enough even if we do get it.
It's not going to be enough. We desperately need more, and hopefully we'll get it soon.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, the Kansas City Chiefs aim to rebound from their first loss this Sunday on the road against Tampa Bay. And we're going to hear from the Pitt State Gorillas on facing a tough Missouri Southern defense this weekend. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
We are just 2 days away from the latest edition of the Miners Bowl rivalry game between Pittsburg State and Missouri Southern. The Gorillas host the Lions on Saturday afternoon. The Pittsburg State is 4-0 heading into the weekend. Southern is 3-1. They've won 3 straight. For the Gorillas, their offense has been one of the best in the MIAA so far this season. They're averaging 30 points and 423 yards per game. Now, if they want to keep that up this weekend, they're going to have to protect the ball against the Southern defense. It's been pretty good this season at taking it away.
To force 15 in 4 games, or 15 forced fumbles in 4 games certainly gets your attention. And we always stress it all the time. And we've worked it even a little bit more this week in practice.
They look pretty tough. They fly around and they do a great job at in the run game or when someone's carrying the ball of just going after it. I think they forced 7 fumbles last week and recovered 5 of them. They do a great job in the pass game as well. Their DBs going up and playing through the receiver's hands and getting pass breakups that way. Yeah, just a great defense that flies around and knows how to get the ball back.
Well, after a few days of uncertainty due to Hurricane Ian, the NFL announced today the Chiefs-Buccaneers game scheduled for Sunday night in Tampa Bay will go on as scheduled. Now, for these two teams, it's kind of an important game. Kansas City and Tampa Bay, both 2-1 to begin the season, and both coming off losses. The Chiefs suffered their first loss of the season last week, 20-17 on the road against the Colts. It was, let's say, not the prettiest game I've seen, but for Kansas City, it's given them reason to get back to work and get back to playing how they know they can play.
Congrats to the Colts, okay? They did everything they needed to do. We got exactly what we deserved. We got our ass kicked. We didn't play very well. We didn't coach very well. We're a much better staff, and we're a much better team than what we displayed. I thought yesterday we came out and practiced with a purpose. We had some intent behind what we were doing. And sometimes you need a little bit of humility to get you focused and going in the right direction.
The Kansas City Royals finish up a 3-game series with the Detroit Tigers this afternoon. Now, the Royals are trying to avoid the sweep after dropping each of the first 2 games. Now, after this one, they got 6 against Cleveland, and then the Royals are done for the season. Today, though, not a great one for Kansas City. Willie Castro, solo homer there. Tigers go up 1-0. Top of the 5th, same score, Salvador Perez up. Down the line, but Harold Castro hustles back and makes the grab. Check it out again. Nice over-the-shoulder catch. Royals didn't score until the 8th in this one, and that was too late. Javi Baez in the 5th, 2-run jack. This is his 16th. Tigers sweep the Royals, winning this one 10-3. A local softball action today. The Joplin Eagles at home. COC matchup against Nixa. Joplin tries to snap a 3-game losing streak, but Nixa too good this evening. Joplin falls 5-0. So as a football fan in Southeast Kansas, Southwest Missouri, in the 4-state area, I don't know what more you want. We got a great slate of high school games Friday night. We get Pittsburgh State, Missouri Southern Saturday, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes on Sunday. Like, it does not get any better than that.
Something for everyone.
For sure.
Double helpings for most. We'll be right back. Take some time now to honor a local veteran. Robert Medley served in the U.S. Army in 1968 and 69. His hometown, Galena, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Specialist 4th Class Robert Medley, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Biden administration is ramping up its response to the damage left behind by Ian. This comes as the storm takes aim at more states. Also, home prices are coming down, but owning a home is becoming more and more expensive. Plus, special robot making glass classes geared toward grade schoolers. That and a lot more coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, we can now see the aftermath of NASA's most recent mission. The Hubble and James Webb telescopes that were pointed at the asteroid that was struck by the DART spacecraft on Monday. You might recall that marked the first time NASA was able to purposely crash into an asteroid and potentially change its trajectory. Images from the telescopes were taken before and after the crash, and it appears clouds of material were ejected from the asteroid after contact. Scientists are going to use information from both telescopes in order to learn more about the crash and its overall impact and find out if indeed it did change the trajectory. More to come on that. The weather.
Wow, great weather, especially for tomorrow night's games across the area, and then of course for the Miners Bowl on Saturday with temperatures near 80 degrees, lows very comfortable. A chance of rain next Wednesday, but not a big chance.
Final sports note.
I love to hear that. We'll have more from Pittsburgh State on facing Missouri Southern tonight at 10. Also, Webb City Volleyball trying to push their winning streak to 15 games. We'll have that right here tonight.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided